Hi, my name is Tiara and I'm a licensed realtor in the state of Missouri. So today I'll be going over the first steps to becoming a home buyer. And I'll also be going over the home buying process. Grab a pen, grab some paper, because we have a lot to go over. So quick disclaimer, I am not an accountant. I am not a mortgage broker. I am not a tax professional or a financial advisor, nor am I claiming to be one. Now that we have the disclaimer out of the way, let's get started. So step one is going to be to analyze your finances. Now this includes determining your total income. To do this, you want to add up all sources of income that you receive on a regular. That includes your salary, the bonuses that you receive, and any other sources of income. This information is found on your tax return and it shows how much you made the entire year. For example, let's say you work a 9 to 5 and your taxes say you made $30K. If your side hustle is documented and you pay taxes on your side hustle, you can add this income to your total income. So let's just say your side hustle was 15 grand. So your 9 to 5 income was 30 grand plus your side hustle was at 15 grand. This brings your total income to 45 grand. Each month you make about $3,750 before taxes and your expenses. Next, we want to calculate your monthly expenses. And to calculate your monthly expenses, you want to add up all of your monthly expenses, including rent, utilities, your groceries, transportation, entertainment, and any other bills you may have. Let's say, for example, your rent is $1,200 plus utilities $150 plus your groceries, let's just say $250, transportation / gas $200, insurance is $50, and any miscellaneous items you may have at $150. So you want to add all of those together and that equals $2,000. So after expenses, you subtract your $2,000 from that $3,750 and that leaves you about $1,750. Now you also want to make sure to subtract any credit card, personal, student loan from this number to see what you have left to use on a house mortgage. Let's just say $1,750 minus $400, like you have $400 in student loans and your credit card purchases. We got your income, we subtracted your expenses, and now we're looking at what you have left over to spend after deducting those personal and credit card expenses, which is $1,350. So this is how much you have to allocate for any possible monthly mortgage. You also want to determine your debt to income ratio. The debt to income ratio is different than your monthly expenses. Your debt to income ratio is the percentage of income that goes toward paying off any debt. Now this is only items that report to your credit, such as credit cards, car loans, student loans, personal loans. Do not, I repeat, do not include your rent in this number. Use the link I have provided below because it's going to be very helpful versus me showing you how to do that debt to income ratio. It can be a little confusing, and so if you guys want me to do a video on that, I will. Lenders usually like to see a DTI or debt to income ratio of no more than 43%. That includes your mortgage payment. If your number is higher than 43%, work on paying down some of your debt. Also consult with a mortgage lender, as there may be a workaround for your exact situation. Next, you want to determine your down payment. I always get asked, Tiara, well, how much savings do I need to buy a house? Well, the more the better. But let's go over these next two items that can kind of help you determine how much savings you need to have. A down payment is how much you need to put down on a home. A down payment of 20% is recommended. Not everybody has 20%. So to avoid PMI or private mortgage insurance, usually clients put down 20%. But wait a minute, before you click off this video, there are also 3 to 5% down payment options, and that depends on your loan type. Not only that, there are a plethora of down payment assistance programs to help home buyers just like you get in a home. Please don't be discouraged when it comes to wanting to purchase a home, because we have options. To calculate a down payment, multiply the home price times the down payment of your loan type. Now that might sound a little confusing, but stay with me. Multiply the home price times the down payment of your loan type. For instance, in FHA's minimum down payment is typically 3.5%. So let's say you're purchasing a home for $200,000. And FHA's minimum down payment requirement is 3.5%. You're going to multiply $200,000 times 3.5%. And that's going to give you a down payment of, drum roll please, right, $7,000. Now, we have closing costs. Now, closing costs are the various fees you and a home seller pay to service providers that are a part of the home buying process. Title work fees, you got property appraisals, you've got prepaids, and some lender fees. Typically, these fees equal up to about 3% of the purchase price. So on a $200,000 home, like we said before, your closing costs will be about $6,000. Remember, that's not including the down payment. Morally speaking, buying a home is definitely something that you want to be planning for a good time in advance before filling out any loan applications. Again, there are some exceptions to this because you can use down payment assistance. You can ask for seller concessions to offset some of the closing costs. Ideally, the more you have saved, the better. And I said this before, I'm gonna keep saying it. The more you have saved, the better. Having more savings is just some of the best practice steps to set yourself up for success. Lastly, you will need to get a home inspection and submit earnest money, which will be the only two out-of-pocket costs you will have to pay during the home buying process. Everything else will happen at closing. By analyzing your finances in this way, you can get a better idea of how much home you can afford to buy. It's important to be realistic about your budget and not overextend yourself, as that can lead to financial stress, difficulties down the road, or foreclosure, and we don't want that to happen. So a qualified mortgage broker, accountant, tax professional, and financial advisor can help you analyze your finances and determine the best course of action before starting the home buying process. I have also linked some other helpful resources to help you determine your budget. You can always reach out to me for some of my trusted advisors, or if you have any other questions. Step 2 is going to be to speak with a mortgage professional. Now, because you have already analyzed your finances, the conversation with a mortgage professional should be a breeze, okay? And I say that because you learned from me and I got you. We're gonna make this process easy for you. A mortgage professional will qualify you based on a number of different things. First is gonna be your credit score, which is a measure of your credit worthiness and financial responsibility. Your credit score will determine your eligibility for a loan and the interest rate you might qualify for. They're also going to look at your income. Now, your income, including your employment history and any additional sources of income, to determine your ability to make monthly payments. So the debt to income ratio, which we talked about briefly, is the percentage of your income that goes towards paying off debt, only debt. Your DTI percentage is very important to determine your ability to make your mortgage payments while still meeting your other financial obligations. Next is your employment history. So your employment history is to obviously determine job stability and the likelihood that you will be able to continue making your mortgage payments in the future. If there are any gaps in your employment history, be prepared to talk about them. Also, if you just graduated from college, you still may be able to qualify for a mortgage, although you don't have 2 years of employment history. Next is your down payment. So mortgage professionals will look at the size of your down payment to determine your ability to make a significant financial commitment. These factors are all important considerations when qualifying for a home. It's important to work with a qualified mortgage professional who can guide you through the process and ensure that you are getting the best loan terms and interest rate possible based on your individual situation. Also, your mortgage professional will be your go-to person when it comes to all things financial and money needed to close. For faster consideration, you should have at least a 620 credit score, some savings, and a 2-year of taxed income. Not to worry, if you want credit help or down payment assistance, please reach out to me directly. So next is going to be choosing the right agent. Obviously, everybody's going to say choose them. If you sense that we could be a good match, look no further. I'm here to coach you towards home ownership. So, now, step 4, get pre-approved, not qualified. Get pre-approved, not qualified. Get pre-approved, not qualified. I want to make note that a pre-approval and pre-qualification are 2 different stages in the home buying process. They both help you understand your borrowing power and provide you with a more accurate idea of what you can afford. Now, borrowing, I don't know why I cannot say that quickly, but borrowing. Anyways, I don't know why I can't say borrow, but your pre-qualification is an initial assessment of your finances by a lender, and that's based on the basic information you provide, such as income, debts, assets. Now, a pre-qualification does not involve a thorough review of your financial documents and credit history. It is a quick and easy process that can give you an idea of what you might. It is not a guaranteed loan. It does not guarantee you a loan. Pre-qualification does not require a hard credit check, so it will not impact your credit score. Lastly, it is not a serious document that should be used when buying a home. Now, a pre-approval, on the other hand, is a realtor's favorite word, favorite document, and that's because it is a more thorough assessment of your finances by a lender. That includes a credit check and a review of your financial documents, such as your pay stubs, your bank statements, and your tax returns. Your pre-approval is more of a comprehensive process and can give you the most accurate idea of what you can afford. It also shows that you are a serious buyer and can make your offer more attractive to sellers versus a pre-qualification. A pre-approval typically requires a hard credit check, which can impact your credit score temporarily. Sometimes clients ask me, hey Tiara, can I shop around for mortgage lenders, or can I shop around for rates? And the answer to that is yes, you can. As long as it is within 45 days of your initial credit pool, your credit will not be impacted for a second time. In summary, a pre-qualification is an initial assessment based on basic information that you provide, while a pre-approval is a more thorough review of your finances that require a credit check and a review of your financial documents. There are several different types of loans that you can get pre-approved for as a first-time home buyer. The VA/DVA is a great option for veterans or the surviving spouses of a veteran. This is a 0 down payment option. Also, you have USDA, and that is another loan that is eligible for buyers that want to buy in rural areas. This is also a no down payment option, 0. This loan is not available in St. Louis City, St. Louis County, Jefferson County, some areas of Franklin County. I've heard to qualify for this loan, your home must be purchased in a rural area, which also means it needs to be an hour and 15 minutes away from downtown St. Louis. So, just food for thought. Of course, you have an FHA loan, which is most popular for first-time home buyers, and that's because of its low down payment at 3.5%. And did you know that this loan is not just for first-time home buyers? There are a lot of different people who can qualify for this loan as well. Then there is a conventional loan, which I've seen as low as 3+% down. Now, notice you did not hear me say anything about 20% down. And the reason people put 20% plus down is to avoid PMI, or what's called private mortgage insurance. If you are purchasing a home with less than 20% down, you will have to pay PMI. PMI is factored into your monthly mortgage payment, so you don't need to worry about paying a separate cost or anything like that. Private mortgage insurance is paid to the bank in case you default. Tons of people pay PMI, so don't feel like you're being punished. PMI is paid to the lender to cover their butts in case you default, and because you are a more risky buyer than someone who put down 20%. Step 6, I actually don't know what number we're on, but the next step is let's get started on your home search. You have received your pre-approval. We are ready to start searching for homes in your budget. Now, just because you are pre-approved for an amount does not mean that you have to spend the entire amount. It is very important to make sure the monthly payment that is associated with your pre-approval is something you are comfortable with, so you're setting yourself up for financial success rather than financial stress. And now let's get started house hunting. An initial consultation will ensure that we are on the same page and that you understand what is going on in the current market. And this also helps manage expectations and make sure that we set up a strategy for success. This plan will be tailored to you and what's going on in real estate at the time. For example, in the COVID times, there was multiple offers and buyers were purchasing homes sight unseen with no inspections. This brought on supply and demand issues because with less contingencies and mostly cash offers, these were the offers that were being considered more appealing to the seller. Would you agree that that is something that you need to know ahead of time or before you actually begin your home buying process? Our initial consultation will go over a strategy to set you up for success regardless of what market we are in. Step 7, finding your house. Important things to consider when searching for your home is a wants and needs analysis. A need is a need. Let me say this again. A need is a need and a want is an optional feature that would be nice to have, but it isn't a deal breaker. You know, be able to determine what's a deal breaker for you. We will be sharing homes back and forth, touring homes privately, going to open houses, and find your dream home together. After seeing multiple homes, you have found the one. It is time to make an offer. We will consider the best terms and conditions to make your offer strong and go over timelines. My advice when it comes to making an offer is do not wait too long to make an offer on a house that you really love, because the chances of someone else liking the same house at the same exact time and writing an offer while you're sleeping on it, taking too long to make a decision, could backfire. In most cases, sellers typically have about 24 hours to respond to an offer, and when they do respond, they can either accept the terms of your offer, reject the offer completely, or counter the offer, which basically means to modify some of the terms and conditions in the original offer. I highly suggest getting a home inspection, or some people call it a building inspection. But this is basically a report card of the home. A general home inspection is usually $300+. Most home inspectors are trained generalists. You may want to hire a specialist to do a termite, a radon, and or sewer laterals, or structural inspection. Depending on what part of Missouri you are buying in, a sewer lateral and a structural inspection is a must. And obviously it's because of a lot of the historical homes and a lot of these homes being built way back when, 1800s, 1900s. So as a first-time home buyer, you may not know how everything is supposed to work inside of a home. Like, have you ever been on a roof? Or have you ever tested an HVAC system to see if it's heating and cooling properly? I haven't, and I've sold a number of homes, and safe to say, I don't think that I know how to test the HVAC system. Wait a minute, although I have been on a roof. I have been on a roof, and I've been in the attic before. Scary sight. So it's a great idea to hire a home inspector who's going to test everything in the home. They're gonna go under the home, they're gonna go inside the home, outside the home, on top of the home, and they're gonna give you a full health report of the home. Just so you are aware, no home is going to be perfect. Even a new construction home won't be perfect. So don't expect a completely clean slate when it comes to an inspection report as an indicator that this is a great home, this is a great investment. All homes are going to have something noted. Ultimately, that is what you are paying the home inspector for. Now, once the home inspection is complete, I will negotiate the inspection repairs. Unless you are buying a home in as-is condition, you will have the ability to negotiate repairs with the seller. Usually when going over the inspection, any items that is not working properly or is a major concern is warranted a repair request. For example, if an inspector noted that a handrail is placed incorrectly and it can be a safety hazard, in some cases, if the seller does not correctly place the handrail, this may disqualify you for your loan because some loan types have very strict guidelines. Another example would be a leaking drain. That would warrant a repair request, but asking the seller to repaint the entire house and remove old wallpaper would be a stretch. Obviously, that is a cosmetic thing. We would ask for things that are safety/health hazards, not working properly, or a major concern. In Missouri, we have a few days to come to a resolution, and that resolution time frame can vary. Most of all, there are 3 decisions to be made. Just like making an offer, they can usually agree to make all the repairs, none of the repairs, or some of the repairs, or they can give seller concessions for you to repair it on your own. Once a resolution is resolved, we can move on to insuring your home and the closing process. Step 8 is the closing process. Hold on a little bit longer, we are almost there. While still in this due diligence period of the inspection and negotiating repairs, we want to make sure that your home is insurable. It's important to do this while you are under contract because if you cannot find marketable insurance for the home, then you are typically able to back out of the deal versus waiting till after you close and we find out that you cannot put insurance on your brand new home. Additionally, sometimes other insurance is needed, like flood insurance, fire, or earthquake insurance. So speak with a qualified insurance company while still in the due diligence period. At the same time, while getting your insurance, your mortgage professional and I will be working on ordering an appraisal. Side note, an appraisal protects the bank, not you. The appraisal is done because the bank can only lend up to the appraised value of a home. The bank is not going to give you more money than the home is actually worth because in worst case scenario, God forbid, you can't make your mortgage payments and the bank has a loan out on that house and you default. They would have money owed to them that exceeds the value of the house. The appraisal justifies the amount that they are willing to lend you to buy a house. There are 3 appraisal outcomes. 1, the appraisal comes in over asking price. You have X amount in equity. 2, the appraisal comes in at the sales price, which is most common. 3, the house could appraise below the sales price. And in the event that your home appraises lower than the sales price, you have a few options. You could 1, bring in the difference. 2, you could work with the seller as grounds to bring the purchase price down. Or you could just say, you know what, forget it, I don't want this house anymore, and I'm out. The week has been busy, but because you have been in constant communication with your mortgage professional throughout the entire process, we are ready to close. Yay! 3 days prior to closing, the lender will provide you with a closing settlement statement. This document includes a complete breakdown of your closing costs, additional funds needed, and any last documentation that they need to add to your file. You should also arrange with the title company how you would like funds for your new home to be transferred. This can be done via cashier's check or a wire. You cannot roll up to the closing with a briefcase full of cash talking about, I'm ready to close on my house. Finally, we have made it. We are at the process of going through the final walkthrough. This is the final time to see your home before it's legally your home. This final walkthrough is to check to make sure all of the inspection items have been completed. Even if you don't ask for any repairs, it's still a good idea to make sure that the house is still standing and it is in the same condition as when you first signed your name on the dotted line. Yay, you made it! I will be at your closing just in case you have any questions. Don't forget to bring your ID or your driver's license, and if you choose to bring any closing cost funds in the form of a check, make sure to bring that with you. The title company closers are very informative and can answer most questions regarding your loan or what comes next as a first-time home buyer. Congratulations, you have made it through all of these steps, which you are officially a home buyer. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me or leave me a comment. Found this video helpful? Let me know, like it, and I'll see you in the next one.